Relational capital. How New Year rituals reveal the CEO within. The economy is lying to you about where value is created. While boardrooms obsess over AI disruption and market volatility, the most resilient asset class of the next decade is sitting in your living room. It's not indexed, it's not traded, and it certainly isn't advertised on LinkedIn. It's relational capital, the equity you've been building in the margins of your life while everyone told you to get back out there. You've been told the new year is for resolutions, for fixing what's broken, for becoming someone you're not yet disciplined enough to be. But what if the ritual itself, the reflection, the recalibration, the intentional pause is the signature behavior of a CEO? Not the corporate kind. The kind who operates from a position of sovereignty, who understands that attention is the new oil, and relationships are the refinery. The architecture of attention. Let me tell you what private equity firms understood decades ago. Control the infrastructure, and you control the returns. They don't chase trends. They acquire undervalued assets, install better systems, and extract compounding value over time. You are doing the exact same thing, except your assets are human. Your children, your partner, your extended network. And your operating system is the rhythm of your home. The New Year ritual. That's your quarterly audit. Most people treat January 1st like a motivational poster. You're going to treat it like a board meeting. Because while the corporate world measures output in revenue per employee, you're measuring something far more sophisticated. Relational yield per interaction. Every family dinner is a touch point. Every bedtime conversation is a data point. Every morning routine is a protocol that either compounds trust or erodes it. And here's the part no one tells you. The woman who controls the emotional temperature of the home controls the most powerful economic variable in existence, human motivation. You are not just managing the household. You are the chief culture officer of a microeconomy that will either produce resilient, creative, emotionally intelligent humans or it won't. That's not soft work. That's dynasty architecture. The sovereign operator shift, the New Year ritual, reveals something most people miss. The ability to step outside the system and observe it, to pause, to assess, to recalibrate. This is not a luxury. It's a competitive advantage. While the rest of the world is reactively consuming, scrolling, consuming dopamine, chasing, you are in the rare position of being able to architect your time, to design your environment, to curate your inputs. The corporate world calls this strategic planning. You're going to call it Tuesday. But here's where the identity shift happens. You have to kill the language of scarcity. Finding time, squeezing things in, trying to balance. No, you are the sovereign operator of a private domestic HQ. You are not balancing. You are allocating. You are not finding time. You are protecting assets. You are not just a mom. You are the architect of the next generation's operating system. And the New Year ritual. That's your signal to the market, internal and external, that the CEO is back online. Not the frantic, over-caffeinated, I'll sleep when I'm dead version. The other kind, the one who understands that sustainable wealth is built in the margins, not the center. The relational capital framework. Here's the proprietary concept I want you to walk away with today. The world calls it emotional labor. We call it relational capital infrastructure. Relational capital is the accumulated trust, attention, and emotional coherence you've invested into the people in your sphere. It's the reason your child comes to you first with a problem. It's the reason your partner defers to your judgment on the things that matter. It's the reason your network responds when you ask for something. It is not measurable in dollars, but it is absolutely convertible into economic outcomes. A child who trusts you will take intellectual risks. A partner who feels seen will advocate for your goals. A network that respects your discernment will open doors before you even knock. This is not manipulation. This is strategic intimacy. And the New Year ritual, the reflection, the goal setting, the intentional pauses, how you audit the health of this infrastructure. Ask yourself, where did I over-index on output and under-invest in connection? Which relationships yielded compounding returns? Which were extractive? Where did I confuse activity with progress? These are not self-care questions. These are balance sheet questions. Because here's the truth, you can outsource tasks. You cannot outsource relational equity. That is the one asset that requires your direct, sustained, non-negotiable presence. And if you're not auditing it, you're not optimizing it. The infrastructure upgrade. Now let's talk about the physical environment. You wouldn't run a private equity firm from a cluttered desk in a noisy coffee shop. Yet most women are expected to architect their family's emotional infrastructure from a constant state of sensory chaos. That ends now. If the New Year ritual is your quarterly board meeting, you need a space that signals to your nervous system. The operator is now online. I use a pair of noise-canceling headphones, not for music, for silence. When I put them on in the morning, before the demands begin, I am sending a message to my brain and to everyone around me. This time is protected. This attention is sovereign. It's not about escaping. It's about creating a container for the kind of thinking that builds empires, not just to-do lists. The investment, minimal. The return on cognitive clarity, asymmetric. I also use a physical journal, high-end, leather-bound, the kind that makes you slow down when you open it, not for aesthetics, for signal. Because in a world optimized for speed, the act of writing by hand is an act of defiance. It forces synthesis. It demands coherence. It separates the urgent from the important. In every new year, I return to that journal. I audit the previous year. I track patterns. I identify what compounded and what decayed. This is not sentimentality. This is data architecture for the self. Finally, lighting. The fastest way to shift the emotional tone of a space is to change the light. Warm, directional, intentional. When you sit down for your New Year reflection, you are not just thinking about goals, you are performing a ritual that signals respect for your time, for your intellect, for your role as the architect of something much larger than a calendar year. The environment is not decoration. It is infrastructure for thought. The dynasty vision. Here's what the New Year ritual really reveals. You are not trying to balance your life. You are trying to build something that outlasts you. The noise of children is not a distraction from your work. It is the work. The interruptions are not obstacles to your productivity. They are the product. Because the women who understand this, who treat their homes not as limitations but as unfair economic advantages, are the ones building the next generation of leaders, creators, and sovereign operators. You have low overhead, you have high trust, you have zero commute, you have access to the most valuable asset in the economy, human attention in its formative years. That is not a consolation prize, that is a monopoly. So when you sit down this New Year, whether it's January 1st or any Tuesday in February, you are not making resolutions. You are conducting an audit. You are assessing relational capital. You are recalibrating your infrastructure. You are reminding yourself that the CEO was always here. She was just operating in a market that didn't have language for her leverage yet. The world will keep telling you to get back out there, to climb someone else's ladder, to measure your worth in titles and salaries. But you're building something the market can't index. You're building a dynasty. Mandatory disclaimer: this content is for educational and informational purposes only and does not replace consultation or assistance from a professional. Always consult a qualified professional for any questions related to finance, business, or investments.